Hi there and welcome to Lorena's Labyrinth today. Obviously, I'm Anah Parreli, and today I'm going to be talking about the colour cyan and its healing properties and how we can use it. Just a reminder or a request, please. If you're a returning visitor or even a first-time visitor and you like the content, please do click the like button and subscribe to help us out with the algorithm here on YouTube. It would be greatly appreciated, and it would also let me know that I'm on track with delivering content for you guys that is something that you appreciate and would value. It lets me know I'm doing the right thing for you. But anyway, without any further ado, I'll just remind you also, or invite you and encourage you to put up any comments about your own experiences of using colour or observations that you've made if you're energy workers, what you may have found beneficial, or whether or not you might change some of your practices, the way you use energy based on the content that I give you. And if you've got questions, if you haven't used colour before as a therapeutic intervention, if you like, or to help you feel better, then please let me know if you've got any questions, and I will respond to them in the Sunday yarning videos. And otherwise, some people, it might open up a discussion about the use of colour actually in the comments, and that would be really good as well. In regard to the actual colour of cyan, when we talk about colours and primary colours and hues and shades, it's a little bit difficult to narrow it down, which is probably not a bad thing because it means that people can rely more on their own imagination and visualizations as opposed to information I give to you, because everything is about personal experience at the end of the day. But when we talk about the colour cyan, from a general perspective, it is clearly, if you know anything about photocopiers and colour reproduction, it's basically one of the three main colours that are used because it can be adjusted and adapted to so many other different colours when it comes to printing and that kind of thing. So it's a very interesting shade and a mix of blue with lime green. Did I say green? Do not mind me, I'm having a moment. But anyway, yes, as with all colour mixes, the shades are going to vary, the depth, the lightness of it, and so forth. And it's largely dependent on how much of the blue or how much of the green is included in the composition. And then, of course, if you apply white or add white to the mix, you get even lighter shades. But as with all the other videos, if you've managed to see them on the playlist yet, if they've got blues and greens associated with them, they tend to have calming and soothing attributes as well. All of them will carry these soothing and calming influences. And from a chakra perspective, they do tend to be more aligned with anything from the heart chakra through to the brow chakra. And I'm talking here about the greens, because of the mixes, but they also will bring in properties of the yellow chakra as well, especially if they've got yellow added obviously to the mix. Now with cyan, of course, we're looking, from my perspective, we're looking more at the turquoise aspects of the blue, which is what gives it this brightness to it. And in fact, quite often I think when we look at the printer reproduction of the blues with the cyan, it is very much associated, what we see on the printers and copiers is very much associated with the heart chakra. But for me, the real cyan colour actually has a little bit more green to it than turquoise, turquoise I associate with the chakras as well. That's actually, or with the throat chakra, but we're going to be talking about turquoise in a different video. So for now, what we're looking at is, of course, the links of cyan with the heart chakra, forgiveness, love, reduction in stress and nervous type conditions, as I stumble over my words yet again, and even I'm doing a lot of ums. I do apologise. Hey, I'm human. I could do AI if I wanted to, but I like the fact that we as humans carry inherent so-called imperfections and flaws. So I'll stick with being human. Okay, so back to the actual video. What we see is properties or associations with healing trauma through the higher heart chakra, and we see an enhanced communication and intuition, if you like, because the brow chakra, of course, has shades of the blue and the purple. So each shade of the blues and the greens is all going to carry different properties, if you like, strengths for different qualities. So if we were trying to build, for example, self-confidence and to be able to communicate confidently with other people, then we would draw upon the colour of cyan. Because these are the specific gifts associated with this particular colour. So, what it does, it takes a healing to a new level. Basically, it brings in confidence, self-confidence, that inner peace, that comfort, and belief in self, and a trust in the universe and your own abilities, where you're confident to actually express what it is that you are thinking or feeling. And it does offer a clarity of thinking as well. And this is all about making wise and healthy decisions, because to be able to make decisions, we actually need to have the information there to be able to make what we call informed decisions, to really know what it is that we're going to set ourselves to do. You know, like if we've got a goal, we've got to know the steps to get there. And we've got to be able to identify when a step will take us away from our goal or toward it. And so this is what we call being informed in regard to our decision making. So there has to be this clarity there, this wisdom to be able to know. And anyway, I'll crack on with the next slide to explain to you how it works. So hopefully by this stage, if you've watched my other videos, you'll be aware that I really do promote that we embrace and respect our feelings and our emotions as messengers in themselves. But I also highlight that when we are making our decisions in a reactive way based on our feelings and emotions, then we can be making impulsive decisions with long-term consequences that we might not enjoy. So it's always important when we make our decisions to do them in a rational and calm way, in creative ways, as opposed to just reacting this impulsive way. So what cyan brings to the table is basically it soothes and calms these emotions. It brings an internal peace with it. Colours such as aqua, and we've talked about that, they're actually quite gentle and soft as colours go. Certainly they enhance communication. But if I was to do a comparison, I think that I would say that the aqua is more this really nurturing form of communication, because it's very soft, it's very gentle, it's very loving. If I was in the workplace, because I've worked with people, I would say it is these really sensitive communicators that can just talk to people and calm them with their voice, okay? Now, that's not a gift that everybody has, but if you were wanting to develop it, yes, you would use aqua. Within the context of using cyan, though, cyan is still a loving communicator and still able to express verbally, but I believe my emphasis, or the way I see cyan, is an emphasis upon self, if you like. It's not about being selfish, it's more about navigation and negotiation, because if we're able to be peaceful and calm our emotional reactions, we can not only get clarity of information to go forward, but we can clarify or speak clearly in our communication with others. And where there is conflict, we can navigate, negotiate. But we have to have a certain level of confidence when we do that. Certainly when we're doing settlements or discussions of terms and conditions and that kind of thing, we need to be able to outline our personal boundaries in clear ways, with confidence and without apology. So, for example, if you know that you need to have 12 hours off a week, or you need to be able to get a weekend off, or if you know that you don't cope well with night shifts because it impacts on your family responsibilities, and you're discussing work conditions, then you need to be able to speak confidently in that scenario and say, okay, that's interesting, and turn around and say to them, I'm sorry, I can't do night shift, and not feel that you owe apologies for this. So these are just examples. So there's an enhancement of communication within that, but also a confident form of communication. So from a metaphysical perspective, we can say that cyan brings the gifts of self-confidence and inner peace, because as we are strengthening our communication and gathering information as well, in confident ways, we can experience a greater sense of internal peace. And this will in turn assist with reducing stress and anxiety. And at the same time, also, I believe, initiating a bit of respect from other people, because you can actually express your feelings and your thoughts in confident, comfortable ways, and in ways that actually enhance their comfort levels too. So it's through understanding the properties of a colour and how they're actually associated with the chakras, that we understand the messages that they give to us. So if you're either drawn to or repelled by the colour cyan, then this is basically saying to you, it's time to take a look inward. It's time to look at your verbal communication, your expression. Are you able to ask questions confidently? Do you need to get clarification about certain things because you've got concerns and you haven't been able to make a decision about something? You're a bit confused. Then it's time to ask the questions. This is what this colour means. Ask some questions, and that way you can determine and calculate what any risks might look like and decide what is the best path for you to be walking right now. And the thing is too, that you don't need to apologise for having needs or even for asking questions. So it's step up, be confident, ask the questions, get the answers you need so that you can make the decisions that you want. And if you're confused, then it's time, more importantly, actually, when you are so confused that you don't know the questions to ask, this is a time to be working with Cyan. And one of the ways that we can work through or with Cyan is actually through a very simple activity. And to start with this particular activity, gosh, I'm stumbling over my words today. It involves just a little bit of preparation, okay? And that is spend a little bit of time. You might even, if you've got a really busy schedule with lots of responsibilities, then it might be a case of starting a list and just working over it for a number of days. And as you think about it, write down the qualities that you believe that a confident person holds, like knowing how they act. Are they educated? Are they uneducated? What form of education do they have? What does a happy, confident person have that you don't feel that you have to be successful, particularly in regard to your goals? So I'm just sort of thinking, I'm just going to put a pause on here to think how we might apply this to a life from a general perspective. Okay, so let's say you were looking for a career change, and I'll keep it very simple. Basically, perhaps you are currently working in an environment where you're outdoors and exposed to the elements, and that could be a stinking hot sunny day. It could be sleet or hail. It could be just basically uncomfortable, and you're at that point where you want to make a career change, and you've decided that you want to do indoor work, and you would love to get an office job sitting on your backside in the front of the computer all the time. Or it could even be that you want to work from home. Any of these things. So you would look at that and you think, well, certainly if we don't have the skills, if I was, say, picking grapes on a farm and I wanted to be an office worker and apply for jobs that required admin skills, then it would be, do I have the current skills? I'm not going to feel confident applying for a job that I'm not qualified to have. So the idea here is to look at, well, what does a confident admin person have? They have some training and some skills. So if that's your goal, you put that on the list. I need to do some training, doing office work. What else might they have? Well, if you're out there working on the farm all the time, you might only be interacting with animals or birds or whatever. So it might be, if I'm going to be doing admin, I need to be working with other people and interacting with them and building social rapport. So I need to do some perhaps team building activities, or I need to do some communication type activities, training, upskill, that kind of thing. So you're making your goals and your vision of what a confident person looks like to have a little bit of context there. So the preparation is getting that vision, where it is you're hoping to go, and then writing down what that vision looks like upon completion. And then you can, at a later date, well, not too far later, I hope I'm being clear about this, because there is a process. You can then actually look at the planning after you've worked out what it is that you're trying to achieve. So anyway, the first thing is Do your preparation. Write down the list of the qualities that you believe a confident person carries. So once you've completed your list of the qualities that you believe that you need to have to be a confident person, you then go into this visualization and breathing activity. And just a reminder, the sacred breath is generally said to be what's called square breathing, and it's to the count of 7, which is basically an aspiration. Not many people can actually achieve 7. So if you can go for 3, go for 3, or go for whatever is comfortable, but you allow your breathing to get into a comfortable rhythm, okay? And then as you're doing the inhales, you breathe this beautiful cyan colored infusing your body and then circling your body in a great big orb. Now, with this activity, we take it a little step further. We don't just stop at the visualizing yourself in a sphere. We then envisage another sphere of cyan color, and in this cyan color there's qualities. Now, because this is your imagination and this is your visualization, you do it whatever way you want. It could be that you see the words going across, skills, training, qualifications. It could be visualizing a person or yourself actually in that role and working. But basically you put these qualities into that circle and then you visualize yourself stepping into it, and once you step into this circle with these qualities, you feel yourself becoming more confident and empowered. And the idea is, because this is an activity and it does reinforce positive thinking, I guess, and self-belief, if nothing else. If you're not into the energy and magic of color, there is this business of building neural pathways and belief. So I would still encourage that you do this, where you step into that circle and you allow yourself to become more confident, to feel confidence, to feel empowered. And then when you feel that you've spent enough time in this orb, just remember, don't spend too long in these activities, because otherwise you're actually probably creating more problems for your life. You've got to put a time limit on it. So it could be 15 minutes. I wouldn't be doing it any more than an hour. If you've got a real need to build confidence, you could perhaps do it for half an hour, but 5 minutes is perfectly adequate as well. But either way, back to the task, it is you step into this, you visualize yourself becoming empowered, you allow yourself to feel empowered and confident. And when you have allowed this energy to soak into your sense of self, you then clap your hands 3 times and you make an affirmation. Now, as part of your preparation, you can actually write this affirmation down in advance so that when you finish your activity, you just read it off. But you read it off with courage and conviction in your voice, strength, okay? Strength of tone. So the affirmation is, I am filled with confidence and empowered to achieve positive outcomes. I approach all problems from a space of love with confidence, clarity, and happiness. Thanks be. Okay, so that's it. Now, you can obviously word this and develop it to your own comfort levels as well. Don't forget that. So this video's got a bit longer than I intended, largely I would imagine because I've stumbled over my words and wandered down a rabbit warren from time to time. But either way, I'm going to close this video off now. Wish you luck. Please let me know how the activities work for you if you feel that they make a difference. People will definitely be interested in hearing, I'm sure. And for now, though, I'll say thank you for being part of my journey. And have a wonderful, blessed day, wonderful week, and I'll catch you on the next video. Bye-bye for now.